Hey gang, this is me performing an audio check on my microphone. Does that sound okay? Looks like I'm slow.
Let me see. Good to hear. Let's hope your execution matches your enthusiasm. I've got your feeling if you're looking to keep busy. Here are the details.
Hey, welcome to another episode of Soul Talk, where we talk Star Citizen with members of the community. Today is August 25th. I hope I sound okay. How's everybody doing in Twitch chat and YouTube chat? I've got both windows up. Hopefully people notice my new background that I have up. Yeah, it's the Merchantman reveal from a couple of ISUs ago. Griffin helped me put the background together because the one I had wasn't looking all that great, so he helped me out with that one. All right, thank you, Pops. Yeah, so what's up with people going on in chat with y'all this week? I'm still watching Sandman. Sandman is going okay. It's not really my cup of tea, but I'm watching it with a group, so that makes it all better. And oh yeah, I'm still watching She-Hulk. Well, started watching She-Hulk. The first episode was last week. And I'm also trying to catch up on Doctor Who and The Flash. The Flash I'm like behind on. So that pic of a Benny Western looks like an energy sword from Halo. I take a word for it. I never played Halo. No, I haven't played Halo. I've seen people play it. Hey Jade, hey Pops, hey Fist, hey Rochester, and the Worm. Hope everybody's doing it well out there. I'm still playing Marvel Future Revolution, the MMO. I'm still playing, well they added Wolverine, and it's okay. It's not my cup of tea. My favorite main is still Storm. That's about it for me. How's everybody doing in chat? Sandman has its moments, but it's a lot of it's not great. I'm hoping it gets better. I think there's like 10 episodes. I forget. I haven't checked on Netflix real quick. So yeah. Okay. Well, I guess I'm gonna do my thing. Let me fix this real quick. I hope I don't have too much dead air. Alright, so let me do my thing and let y'all guess what I'm doing. Now I have to say this one will probably be easy. So I'm gonna ask for a specific movie, not the general movie or general arc or whatever you want to call it, but the specific movie that it comes from. Okay. All right. Here we go. We want the BMM. We need the BMM. Must have the BMM to keep it from us. Sneaky little developers. Wicked. Tricksy. Scam. Alright, I'm going to back folks down and see if people can guess which one that's from. Hey guys, I'm doing my fist to face and pots and face. What specific movie is it from? And Jade, how you doing? What specific movie is it from?
Movie?
There you go. Von Cody got it.
Two Tower? Okay.
Yeah, the two towers. Lord of the Rings, two
Lord of the
towers. That's
Rings.
Gollum.
Lord.
Yeah.
Oh,
Oh,
I'm thinking.
okay.
Okay. Oh well.
Gotcha. I haven't seen that in so long, dude. Like that.
It's worth a rewatch. I think so. I think it
I
would probably age well.
It wasn't too bad. I mean, Lord of the
Mhm.
Rings wasn't too bad. I mean, I remember first watching it back then with you, Pops. I remember that we watched it.
Yeah, the
Yeah.
whole reason why I brought
Yeah,
it up today because the Ring of Power premieres next week. So Friday
right,
next week,
right.
I believe it comes out. So yeah, that's my
Yeah,
send off for them.
no, that's cool because I've been looking at it, looking to see, to check it out.
Mhm. Okay.
So yeah,
Let me see if I can bring up the. I forgot to bring up the. There it is. All right. So up first we have this week's sneak peek, and the subtitle is "I just need someone to vent to." That sounds like a Jared quote to me if I ever saw one.
Mhm.
Uh, I don't know if
Yeah.
this. What do people think this
just
is? Let
need
me ask
someone
that.
to vent to.
Well, I mean, obviously, it's something that could possibly go in a, in your base or your home or. Looks. Hmm. I mean,
Event.
it's a big pipe, so
Let me ask you a question. Okay, I know this
that,
looks very industrial, but it
yeah,
kind of reminds me of the halves.
yeah, that's what I'm referring
They
to.
have,
Your
yeah.
But
outposts. You know, your outposts. Stuff that you build. I'm just wondering.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
I don't know. Yeah, not with that big pipe in there. I don't think I would want my head in the exposed wires like that.
I was
I don't know.
thinking,
I'm
I
just
was
saying.
thinking it was
Mm,
almost like a Drake ship or or a pyro again. But yeah, it
a
probably is
ship?
a hab. What do you think,
Yeah,
Jade?
I think.
Wait, can you hear me?
Yep.
You can?
Yes.
Okay. I think it's probably either like a settlement. It looks like it's outdoors, right? Because you can see the sunlight. And I'm thinking it's probably one of those settlements like that they showed us in Pyro. It's like on the outside. And I don't know why they're showing us this, but I do know that, they talked about us being able to fix things like this in the future. So maybe it's a hint at some of that gameplay.
Oh, I didn't notice there was a guy on the left.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's one of the
Mhm.
engineers.
Yeah, I thought
There's
it was.
also there's an open, it's like right underneath, like right past his nose where it says open. It's
Oh, okay. Yeah,
green.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, it's green. So it looks like it might be s- maybe I mean I'm sure it's probably not like a silo or anything like that, but
It
something
it
that
looks like the outpost airlocks that we saw at CitizenCon. Like you can see the shape of the door a little bit by his head.
Hmm. Okay. Yeah, I can see that. So yeah, So I guess the conclusion is, or the consensus is, that it's an outpost,
yeah,
and likely,
somewhere.
that outpost will be in Pyro,
Mhm.
because we can't
Now,
go.
what we saw at CitizenCon, was that Pyro? That was Pyro, right? When they
Yeah,
showed, yeah. So
yeah.
that would be my assumption
Hmm.
because it was a garage. Part of it was a garage that the
Well, it
person
was
was
like a
in.
whole village almost done to it. Yeah,
Yeah,
the whole outpost
yeah,
thing. Yeah.
yeah.
Okay. All right. So after that we have. Oh yeah, this week we had the SCL from Friday. So this week, last week, it was Star Citizen Live all vehicles Q&A. So it's Q&A from all the vehicles. And I tuned in for. I didn't watch it live, but I did watch the Numifier summary, and he has a lot. It looked like a lot went down. Did anyone get a chance to watch it?
Yeah, I watched it.
What'd you think? What stood out to you?
Oh, let's see. Let me see if I can remember. Wow, it was
Yeah,
a
right.
holiday. Oh, yeah, wow. Okay. I mean, it was, it was very interesting. The thing that I liked about it was that, they explained, they kind of went into a little bit of in depth how the ships are, going through the pipeline.
Mm,
The they're just not going to put out a ship anymore
right,
like they did with the what's the reclaimer.
right.
Yeah, it had no gameplay, so they're not going to put ships out anymore without any gameplay, which kind of led me to think about our beloved Banu, Merchantman. So when it comes out, there'll be gameplay for it, which I'm excited about that because kind of like when the Ions kind of came out and the Inferno, I just didn't. It was just my opinion. It was cool flying it, but it just wasn't really truly any gameplay for it, besides when the events came on. Yeah.
Anyone else?
Nope, didn't get a chance to see it though, so I can't really comment on it.
I saw it.
What do you think? What stood out to you?
It was good. I think what stood out to me was the confirmation that what's holding up capital ships is resource management. I think that was like probably the most explicit they've been as far as that goes. Because I know a lot of people in the community quite often ask, like, when are we going to get the Idris or when are we going to get the Javelin? But I think this pretty much makes it clear until we have like, that multi-crew gameplay, that's probably not going to happen. So
And they
that's
said
what
that
stood out to me.
because the big ships, and also because the Silvers can't really handle the big ships yet. They said that also. Well, I got that from Nubifier.
Yeah.
But what I got from Nubifier is I'm just paraphrasing some things that stood out for me. Well, quite a few things that stood out for me. Cause they want people to vote for the ship count showdown. So if you haven't voted for the ship showdown, and there's news about that that I'm gonna cover next after this the SDL. They said resource modularity tech is on the way. The doors on the 400i are often broken. Too bad Griffin isn't around
Mhm.
to because I want to mess with him about doors and doors. Work
Mhm.
on a drone is planned, but nothing for the near term is gonna come out. The universe and the servers aren't ready for big ship. The blockers are due to the optimization of their size. So yeah, that's what holding up the big ships.
Yeah, and I know they did mention about the Caterpillar,
Mm-hmm.
the problems they were having with I believe it was the landing gear,
Mm-hmm.
wasn't exactly functioning as they intended to. But they said that they'd like to redo. So I guess it's going to probably go through some gold standard
Mm-hmm.
with it. Mm.
Yep. And okay, so while docking is needed and refueling is needed, player ETC is also needed, so they don't want to add empty experiences. So that's what they're talking about for adding new ships that don't have gameplay. They don't want empty experiences. So yeah, I'm kind of worried about the BMM, but we'll see. I mean, that's like one of the oldest ships and just hadn't been releasing concept, so they may release it without gameplay, but we'll see.
Mm.
Let's see. They said Chris Roberts is pushing John Crew
Mm.
for work on FOO. FOO is short for Forward Observation Officer or a targeteer, but the tech isn't there to support it. They want some like a NPC or some officer to target stuff and call out target. So Chris Roberts wants that in the game, but we'll get it later on. They say docking point, mounted docking points on ship may be relocated from the top to the side to combat falling due to gravity. So they're gonna try to redo a free ship with the docking points on top and just move to the side. And I think they did. They
Mhm.
mentioned one of the ships that they've already done for, but I forgot. I forgot to note it in my notes what ship that is. They said a
Isn't it the torpedo
retaliator.
um
No,
retaliator? Yeah. No, that's not the
I don't
one you.
think so.
Mm. I
That didn't
thought,
ring a
but
bell.
no, the retaliator was on the bottom, wasn't it?
Yeah, but they said the top to the side. They didn't mention bottom to the
Mm.
side
Constellation.
yet.
Mm.
So was that
Uh,
Jade?
Constellation or Freelancer, right?
One of them. But if anyone in chat can remind me, post it. They say the whole sea is looking good, so that seems to be coming along nicely. The Perseus, no, I don't think it was the Perseus Black Sky lives in. Oh, it might be. I figured it was
Yeah, I
something
think
like
it was the Connie. It was one that was already out.
the Connie. Okay. So the Rangers are blocked by the Tech 2 wheels. So technology that requires 2 wheels instead of 4. So they are being parked in favor of other priorities. So it's gonna be a while before the Rangers come out. Unfortunately, I was looking forward to the Rangers myself because I really want to ride it on a motorcycle on the moon or planet. But that's gonna be pushed down the line. Anyone else looking forward to the Ranger?
Yeah, of
I'm
course.
not.
And I
Gravlev,
drive
the
lab.
30th century. Like the only thing getting on a Ranger would give me is the like possibility of falling off. So why not just take like a Cyclone if you want that connected to the ground feel, or better yet, that G12 when it comes out.
Yeah, but those are 4 wheels, not 2.
Yeah, but what's the point of 2 when you can
Have
have
you ever?
4?
Okay, Jade. Have you ever seen Akira, the anime? Akira.
Yeah, but I mean, like, other than, cosplaying that anime, like, I just don't see the utility when Gravlev bikes have way more
It's not.
going for them.
It's not just that anime. There was a TV show in the '80s called Street Hawk. I don't know if people remember that, but that was another one. So yeah, there's a bunch of dreams that people may want to pursue and Star Citizen when it comes to two-wheel vehicles.
The only advantage I could see with it
Mhm.
would be it probably is going to fit into ships you can't get like a Dragonfly in, maybe even a ship you can't get the hover quad in. So that would be one thing, and also turrets right now don't target ground vehicles, and those bikes are still considered ships, so they get targeted. The gravelet bikes.
The Lady Space Girl has a good idea. Maybe it can fold and fit in tons and stuff. That would be sweet. Yeah, I don't know if it's gonna fold. I would think like more like the Titan armor would be more on that side, or a vehicle that transforms into a Titan armor.
Let's
Make that
get the
happen.
dragonfly to fold up like they showed us.
Yeah,
Remember
yeah,
that?
yeah. All right. So also we have according to from Star Citizen Live from last week. They may show the 600i rework before the end of the year, but not before CitizenCon. So I look forward to more to the 600i rework. Matter of fact, we're gonna have an
Mhm.
origin show next month in September, so we'll probably could cover more of the 600i during that show.
Ooh.
Yeah.
The Polaris had a full concept pass, and we might see it soon. The Corsair and the BML will get an update in the next couple of months on the normal show, meaning IRC. And the Crucible needs a complete rework from the concept. So yeah,
Mhm.
they're gonna have to redo the Crucible from the concept up. And that's all I have for the I thought it is alive. Yeah, it's something I still win when it's ready. I don't know, but before the year's out. All right, so up next we have. Let me pause this and go to. Oh, I forgot to load these, preload these. Alright, so yeah, you have this Showdown, Great Cat PTV update. I'm sorry I have bad news for you, Jade.
What's the bad news?
So after discussing with the vehicle teams, we had to make a difficult decision to hold the Great Cat PTV from advancing to Phase 2 in this year's Ship Showdown. And we'd like to explain why. The PTV isn't set up in its current paint system, and it's also due to a full top-to-bottom rework in the future. Setting up for paint now would require them, CIG, to do so again when it's reworked, and they would prefer not to assign development work that would ultimately be a waste of resources. That being said, they cannot
Mhm.
ignore the amount of love that's important to the PTV. Being the first being the first official first vehicle in Star Citizen, the PTV will always hold a special place in their heart. To honor the amount of effort the community has put into elevate their favorite go-kart, they'll be creating a new unique paint for the PTV once the rework is complete that will be distributed to all backers for free. Thanks again
Oh,
to
okay.
all of you making your love for the PTV heard, and apologies for any frustration this update may have caused. Happy
That's not
Ship
bad news.
Showdown,
Mm.
That's
everyone.
good news. That means everybody that has a PTV is gonna get a paint. Number
Yeah, but
one.
now you,
Number two.
but now you
Okay.
got to pick a new meme. I mean,
Yeah.
go for the
Well,
meal.
you know what? I already was Team Pisces from last year all the way up till now. So yeah, even though I wished all the PTV supporters the best of luck, the true champion, the Pisces, was always destined to win this year. So if you were on the meme train, get on it fully and back the Pisces, everybody's
Uh,
favorite small ship.
I think the meal is gonna be a bigger meme. That's just me. Maybe I'm wrong, but that's just me. That's what I'm thinking.
Me and my Pisces. That's all I gotta say.
All right, so Fist and Pots, what do you think about this news?
Uh, yeah, it's cool. Get a paint, get a free
Yeah,
paint,
I mean,
or
it's cool.
you know.
I haven't, I've been really lacking in following the ship showdown this
Mhm.
phase right now of it. I'm just busy, so I've just kind of been neglecting it a lot. But this is cool, you know.
All right.
Can't complain, Free something free, right, for the
Yeah, I
community.
get some for free. Like, I
There
mean,
you
for
go.
some people who are really hoping for the meme this year, this is, disappointing news, but, it'll come back stronger than ever. And
Yeah,
I'm
There you
looking
go.
forward to the rework, because, I mean, they've learned, like they say, it's the first vehicle that they put to Star Citizen. I want to say, like, the
All right.
social module. No, this was before the social module. Well, the social module made it exploding everything. But I think when
Mhm.
the hangar module came out, that's when the PTV came out. So,
Right,
yeah,
right, right.
it really do for a rework. I'm looking forward to it. So,
yeah. I kind of agree with you about it's probably going to be the mule now since that one is eliminated.
what do you think, Fist?
Ooh, yeah. I want the Band of Defender to win, so
You
probably gonna
bet.
be you.
You need to make a meme.
Mhm.
You need a meme for the benefit to win to
For the
win.
win.
And make a song.
Now make a song, yeah, a video or something like
Mm, um, mm.
that. You talk later. You talk later. All right.
Yeah.
So up
Well,
next we have.
we're already doing one for the Banu Merchant Man.
Oh,
So
okay, cool.
yeah,
I'm looking forward to that one.
Yeah.
yeah.
All right. So up next we have Jumptown reopened tomorrow. Prepare for mayhem. So this is from Jake Acapella CIG. Excuse me. The dynamic event will now kick off at 3 p.m. Pacific, 10 to p.m. UTC on Friday, August 26th. So tomorrow, like I said. And that is the schedule that we have on the screen Friday, Saturday, Sunday. And then next weekend, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, September 2nd, 3rd, and 4th. So anyone preparing for Jumptown in here?
Yep, I got a full supply of railguns ready to go.
The full supply of railguns?
Yeah, I haven't used it at Jumptown since they buffed it, but apparently they are very powerful now.
Hmm. How about Fist and Pops?
No.
Probably not. I'm
No.
gonna be honest with you. Gonna be either doing work or Icarus.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, is there a dynamic event you're looking forward to coming back?
Um. You know what? I mean, I was kind of sad and disappointed. Not that not a CSG or anything like that. I just unable to participate in the Siege of Orison because number one, when I wanted to get in, I was like, okay, it's not that wasn't active, and then two, I started hearing a lot of bugs. As far as the elevators, I got caught in the elevator bug, and I was like, all right, you know what? You know, my aggravation level started to like pick up, and for me, I'm like, okay, you know what? I know this one. I need to just stop. you know.
How about you, Pops?
Basically the same thing. We got the elevator trouble. I'm standing on one side. He's on it. He's on the other. We can't. It's like a glass force field. Couldn't get off the elevator. Yeah, it got a little. And then, like I said before, mentioned we had to go in and build uh, another machine. He was having trouble. So we had to, do kind of an emergency build situation.
Yep.
Yeah. We were hoping to wait for, new stuff, but when it can't wait, it can't wait.
Yep.
Gotta go.
Yeah.
Gotta go.
And by the way, if anyone would want to join us, click the link below. Jade posted it in chat a little bit ago. But yeah, come join us. We'd love to talk with people. So come on in. So up next we have. Oh yeah, this is the to set expectations right for Gamescom this year. They just wanted to set the expectation. For those who are attending and can't make the Bar Citizens event, you may have an opportunity to get banner card at the event. So they'll publish more information tomorrow. And that the next day they posted this in Spectrum. So Gamescom Bar Citizen event at Gamescom 2022. This is in Cologne, Germany, obviously. So Thursday, August 25th, that was today, and August 25th, 26th tomorrow, 7 p.m. German time. They'll have a Bar Citizen. So come chat with CIG staff and fellow citizens around the world, and that's the place that I'm not even going to try to pronounce that, but that's the place they're going to have the event. So as a side note, if anyone is from there, who's over there, watching there, note that the venue has a limited capacity of 100 people, so that means it's first come, first serve. So get there early if you want to get that Banu, what is it, the Banu Cube? Yeah, the Banu Cube.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so yeah, we covered Bar Citizens here before on Show Talk. I don't think we're, yeah, I don't, yeah, obviously certain events going on. So make sure you check the barcitizen.sc to check it out if there's a Bar Citizen near you. And there's a whole bunch going on, so yeah,
Oh,
you'll probably be in luck. What was that?
well, I was gonna say before you move off of the Bar Citizen topic, I heard you were throwing one at your house, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, Bar
And you
Citizen
get
event all for one. Yeah, that's it.
Gotcha.
free food and everything.
Yeah.
No, I pay for
Well,
the food, so
right.
Yeah.
it's my food.
Mhm.
Yeah, let's do it. Fastcart, come on.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, and I'll stream it. How about that on Discord?
There you go. See, there you go.
All right. So up next we have the Loremakers community questions. So I didn't get a chance to read these. Did anyone read these? The Loremakers
Yeah.
community questions. Anything
Yes.
stick out to you?
Mhm.
Oh yeah, a whole lot stuck out. This was probably the best Loremakers community questions from my standpoint because they talked about Nyx. And they talked about something they had never mentioned before, and that was that there's a faction in Nyx that inhabits the one of the asteroid belts, the Glacium Ring, and they aren't really welcome in the People's Alliance, the people that run Levski, and everything about them just screams Belter, like Belter Loda from Expanse. I'm loving it. Like I can't wait till we get Nyx. So that stood out to me. Another thing they went into was they talked a little bit about works of wonders, like during the Mesher regime. That was kind of boring to me, but hey, some people that's their thing. But what really got me going was when they talked about botany and Star Citizen, and they went into the fine detail. A lot of people may not know that a lot of what you see on these planets starts with the narrative, with the lore team, and then that stuff is concepted into being 3D assets. And they go into great detail, going down to something I had posted back on, like it may have even been before Spectrum existed, but I had showed them this whole thing about how this research had been done at University of Washington about how the star will dictate somewhat the color of the plant life. And
Yeah,
I
heard
saw
of that.
yeah, and they put it in here. Like that's what they're actually doing. So I mean, it's almost like I love it. Like that they actually read that post and they specify that for like planets that orbit M class red dwarf stars like Pyro, the plant life might be dark red or black, right? And
Yeah,
as they
there
orbit,
was
yeah,
a specific thing a few years ago
yep,
about a planet that had
yeah.
black plant life.
Yeah, and I, I
Uh,
I posted that and used a Star Trek in the Darkness reference to show like what that might look like because it was done in Star Trek in the Darkness, and it's just so cool to see that the lore team like took all that input and that's what they're actually doing now. So this was the best lore makers community questions I've read so far for personal reasons.
cool. Fish Pop, did anything stick out for you?
Um,
I didn't see. I
I didn't
didn't
get a chance
read
to
it.
read it, but from what I'm hearing about it, definitely looking forward to the games, the factions, plants and all of that stuff. And like I said, I didn't do too much, but from hearing, plants and stuff like that, that's pretty cool because I mean that obviously leads into things as far as like with the Endeavor and stuff like that. So I would definitely like to see where they're going to go, so especially the way they've done mining and all of the other careers in the game. I mean, I know they're going to put their foot in this one. So
Yeah, so right on the screen now, I have the thing about historical ships. You talk about the Zeus, the Retaliator, and Silent Corner. And Jay talk about the other stuff that was above. She went in order. No, thank you for that,
Mm.
Jade.
Yeah, I left you something with those ships because I figured you'd want to talk about that. So yeah.
hmm And they talk about like what is life in emergency medicine profession. Now, I can see a whole lot of people would be interested in this one. So, like, what does the MS system look like, and are there any prominent individuals to pioneer emergency medicine in the future? And so they talk about the Bentworth Care Center. Oh, they're talking about Graham Hacks. Oh, okay. And the EMS services. So yeah, it's a good read if people like with lore, or if you want to find out more about the game, not really particular about lore. This could be some background. How old is the pilot in the helmet? They got this screenshot below. The question is the org that this person is in. The person who wrote the question has wears the pilot in the helmet and want to know how old it is. So the pilot in the helmet was first introduced to the public or released to the public in 2855, and remember this is 2952, so almost 100 years ago in lore. And oh
Mm.
yeah, up next we have the symbolism and history of the UNE and UPE logo. So yeah, that's not really something I'm into, but I mean, I'm someone who's into lore. I'm pretty sure would dig that information. Regeneration question.
Mm.
Ooh, this one. Okay, I'm gonna read this one. Since regeneration slowly deteriorates the body each time you die, wouldn't it deteriorate the brain? People could start become less rational and paranoid or other side effects after each regeneration. It could get to the point where their brains won't let them take care of themselves, and you have interested when people say things like, "Don't worry about Bob. He just had one too many regenerations." Oh, that's a Doctor Who thing. And it said
Mm.
the answer is you're absolutely right. Bob could be in a lot of trouble. Regenerative technology is still quite new to the verse and not without issue. The question of how regeneration impacts the brain is particularly interesting. And they
wait
go
a
on.
minute, but so okay, so if it starts to impact the brain, how would they do that in
Yeah,
terms of
that's what I'm
gameplay?
thinking. How do you? I
Like,
could understand being drunk.
do they start to put
Mhm.
things like this? Like, okay, if you start to see things that are not there,
Mm. Mhm.
do they start to do things like that? Or do you see like a sign that might read differently than what it actually is?
And I can see that. Now, I can see that causing a
Mm.
lot of confusion because if someone sees something on their screen that another person don't see on their screen, they could say, "Oh, there's something that your PC is acting up, or maybe you need to get a new video card." And
Mm.
people would upgrade, spend $700 to get a new video card, and they still see the same thing. So I don't
Right.
see them doing
So
that.
I that's what I'm trying to understand
Mm.
though, if that goes into that, but yeah.
Yeah, I don't see them.
Mm.
What do you think, Jade?
I don't know.
You don't know?
I don't know. We'll see.
Mm.
Mm.
Yeah, it's an interesting question. They go into in some details here. I don't know if they're gonna implement in the game, but they have the Desperate Spaceman and the Loremakers Guide to Regeneration. So you just take those two out. That's a piece worth reading.
The only thing I can think of, FC, is that maybe when you regenerate, maybe there's a time you need to spend in the hospital, and maybe you're going through some type of you know, I guess you would call it a psychosis or something like that. And
Regeneration psychosis. Yeah, I can see that
I
becoming.
guess so. And then maybe, maybe you'd have to stay a little while longer, and maybe you have to have some specialized treatment, since they talked above about medical. Maybe they would be linked in that sense. But I'm just curious how that kind of gameplay would come into effect. How would they do it?
Yeah,
Yeah.
interesting thought. I mean, if Chris Roberts wants to make the game realistic and fun as possible, I can see them putting something into the game, but I don't know how in
Mhm.
depth it'll be. So we'll have to see.
Maybe you'd have to go see a specialist somewhere across the galaxy or something if you get it.
Oh,
That
but like
that's
Guy
just
Legion said, depth perception issues. So yeah, I can see that. You can't see too far
okay.
or too close.
Yeah. Mm.
So yeah, they have a low post idea. I like the idea of law posts about the fallout and ramifications around tech or pirate releasing classified data to the military vehicle about new military vehicle. Uh, you guys could even consider as a way to tease new vehicles that are in pipeline before they're released. Have you ever considered doing that? And yeah, it turned out that they have done something in 2017 with the Eclipse. And yeah, if anyone remembers how the Eclipse marketing was going about, they released pieces about the Eclipse until they had the full trailer. So yeah, they might do it again.
Mm.
Ninetales lore. This is the last one. So let's talk about Ninetales lore. Narrative introductions and build upon later. Microsoft that the lore itself sets the game up to be convenient for gameplay at the expense of the immersive lore. If developers need a bad guy or do something stupid or pointless because it would create interesting gameplay, they can have Ninetales do it. Why are the Ninetales doing this thing? Because they're crazy and random, that's why. And the answer is, while it's helpful to have Ninetales all around law-abiding players to confront, their actions aren't crazy or random in their eyes, and they go into deeper details explaining explaining them. Let me go back up to the ship thing, real quick, because
Mm.
I kind of skipped past it, but historical ship. The question is, I've been curious about for a while about whether there have been any discussion about making ships that are not state of the art. Surely lore-wise, was a time when the ship did not have artificial gravity regardless of thrust direction, or possibly ships that are not designed for QT to have retrofitted with quantum drive. We have we have plenty of people in our current timeline who choose either out of necessity or for nostalgia to drive older vehicles. Some upgrade them to run like new vehicles, others keep them as true original as possible. I'm certain that some people in SC would like to choose to do the same with these ships. And yeah, the answer is Lord is referring many of the ships that are no longer considered state of the art. People talk about this juice in the chat earlier, and yeah, I would probably get a juice myself. Also, they specifying the 2783 Retaliator that had the converted bomber boy, and yeah, talk about Silas. So yeah, people take the juice, and they would get it if it became available. And probably keep it in the museum or like in the hangar. I don't know if I would fly it. How about
I want to
Dave?
give a shout out to our podcast partner, Relay Station, for really championing the Zeus. Dave Ayers started this whole ball rolling about 3-4 years ago.
Yeah.
If he's listening, I'm sure he's like smiling right now.
So how much would you pay for a Zeus?
I'd pay $100.
100?
Yeah.
Fist and pop? Would you get one?
It depends on the gameplay.
Depends. Yeah.
Depends on the gameplay that's around it.
Yeah, I'm not one to just buy something but Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly. I guess
because if it could just sit and be a collection item, which I mean, it's not a bad thing. I mean, if you just want to go somewhere, show it off for a second or two, and go from A to B, really quickly. But it depends on the gameplay around for me.
if it has purpose, then
Yeah,
I'll definitely look into it.
I don't
Its
yeah.
think
With
it'll
purpose is
have
it's
purpose because
a
I mean,
classic car, basically.
yeah, I don't think it'll have purpose because it'll probably be lacking the quantum drive, and it probably won't be the fastest ship out there. So I think it'll probably be if it does get released, it'll probably be one of the last few LTI tokens that will be released.
Mhm.
Yeah, I hear that.
Yeah.
I did want to say something about that Ninetales though thing you were showing before
Go
you
ahead.
moved out to here. I would like to see more lore on them. Because for what I've heard, definitely shout out to Paul Shelley for the information. Um, they are a nasty group.
Mm.
And I mean as far as like they are a cartel, you know. Um, brutal. So I don't want to give too much away, but I want to see more on them.
Yeah, if you want to put the link and DM me the link to the Paul Shelley's video
This was
and
spoken word. This was spoken word. This was not something that
okay.
was on his thing. So that's why I said shout out to definitely him and all of that. So
Okay.
yeah,
Yeah, it was in a conversation. It was in a personal conversation we had with him.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right, cool. So, any other final thoughts about the Loremakers community question before we move on? All right. So up next we have, this is a tweet from Atmo Esports, letting people know, join us for an unforgettable Bond Citizen. Oh, this is a Bond Citizen. I thought it was a esports event for some reason. But yeah, it's DreamHack September 9th. I forget what DreamHack is, but you can click the link. I'll put the link in chat for people. So
you
yeah,
only get one free drink.
maybe. Unless you have a sponsor or something like that. Yeah, but also they are giving away $3,000 in giveaways provided by Toby Gaming, Surfmaster, and RSI. So yeah, DreamHack in Melbourne.
Yeah, it's good. There's a huge Star Citizen community down under, so hopefully they can get to that.
So this is going to be a quick show. So we already do this week's ISC. So this week's ISC is called New Wave Caves. So let's check it out.
Our goal for the last half year has been to figure out how to build additional cave archetypes. Not only trying to establish the visual, but also define a new workflow on how we can make better looking, better performing caves. The new workflow we've figured out for the caves is much more artist friendly, and to a point even where designers can make entire cave rooms without necessarily needing an artist to do any work. The designer could go in and build like a white box room and send this to the Houdini process, which will then return an almost finished cave room. For the first release, there will be new sand caves on Staymire, which is like the prime candidate, being a very desert planet. But they will also be going on Magda, Ita, Wala, and Hurston himself. One thing we really liked about the old caves was that they always had this feeling of claustrophobia, and we tried to keep that in some regards. Another thing that was always a concern with the old ones was that it was very bumpy to walk through them. So one thing we definitely improved on is walking through them and traversing the space is much smoother and feels nicer in general. Also, we added a lot more natural light sources, so you will have much more cinematic experiences going through them. For the first release there will be no missions, but hopefully very soon will be remedied shortly. And also for the first release the caves will be walkable on foot only, like no vehicle entrances, no ship entrances, but the workflow is flexible enough to accommodate those once we get to those. Like this first release is mostly about showing the community the visual we've developed for this archetype. Additional archetypes that we are scheduled to work on in the next 1 year. It's going to be the rock archetype, which will replace the existing caves. Then we also have the acidic archetype, which will fit into Ariel and parts of Stanton, where like those bubbling acid pools, salt or sulfur pools. Then there's also the ice archetype, which will be great for Microtech and its moons, for example. And the last one that's actually scheduled is the overgrown one, which will also work well on Microtech in the forests and on Hurston. We as a team are quite proud of the experience we managed to achieve with the new cave archetype that's coming out. It was really fun for us to do and make this excursion and try to figure out all the problems that come with that. We're looking forward to building all the other archetypes as well. The established workflow now, which should go much faster and hopefully result in some really cool looking new places the player can experience.
Alpha 318 is slated to bring with it a number of new aspects to the persistent universe. From the new rivers, the arena racetrack, the Korea revamp, the prison additions, and new sand caves that we've already discussed this quarter, to the cargo refactor, hull scraping, and persistent entity streaming, and more that we'll be covering over our next 5 weeks. But occasionally, we like to look even farther ahead and explore the earliest prospects of work that's only now just beginning. And this week, we've got Star Citizen Live game director Todd Pappy to share with us plans for our new player experience, the first in-game tutorial since Old Gunny tried to help us pilot our way out of the asteroid hangar oh so long ago.
The scale and scope of our game, there's a huge learning curve. Obviously our community's been fantastic, with the help and support for the new players coming on. I think with any game of any size, there needs to be some sort of new player experience to help break down those barriers. We used to have step-by-step, and more story-based style introduction, for players. And the issue with that is, as soon as any new mechanics came online or anything like that, then we'd have to go in and basically rebuild it and adjust it, and the upkeep on it was really time-consuming.
Still waiting. I'm Lucas Baramsko, but everyone knows me as Gilly.
With our new player experience aspect that we're working towards, it's really taking the player not only from basically the front end and having choices there so that the player can either opt in or opt out, but it's training them in their hab. It's training them to their first store. It's training them over to the spaceport, how to get out of the hangar, get into your ship, where do you need to click in the cockpit.
Self-destruct activated.
Then from there, doing some very light missions to basically kind of get you up to speed with ship combat as well as FPS combat. Right now, the teams are working towards FPS HUD that is being built for S42 so that it's got basically contextual hints that are up all the time and you're in different states. So it's basically player interaction experience that we're working on and we've spec'd out, for S42 as well as for the persistent universe. So we're waiting on them to do the first pass on the HUD and first pass on the system, and then from there that trickles down to us. We need to reskin it and do it. Regarding the subsumption hooks and everything like that, we've already got all that spec'd out. The teams are working towards that right now. Front end experience, we just need to make sure that one of our team from USPU works on that and builds that out. Then there's all the signage and everything like that in our landing zones. Our branding team is going through and looking at that experience and doing the test on Area 18 at first, and then we'll be taking that to Lorville, New Babbage, and Horizon. It's a work in progress right now, but we're really working towards getting this out to the players, and this is just like a smaller bite size new player experience, and we'll be working on a much larger experience when we get closer to switching this over to beta.
So what did we learn this week? Well, we learned that the EU Sandbox 2 team continues to build out the world beneath Star Citizen's worlds with new cave types including sand, acid, and soon ice. And that all those players out there currently helping new citizens get their start in the verse have help on the way as the new player experience continues to develop into the next year. Now don't forget that Ship Showdown is still underway, and it's your chance to determine the best of Star Citizen ships and vehicles. And if you haven't seen some of the commercials and songs that have been created by the community, do yourself a favor and check those out. For Inside Star Citizen, I'm Jared Huckabee. We'll see you all here next week.
All right, we're back. So let's go in order. Face to face. What do you
Yes,
talk
sir.
about this week's ISC?
You know, I'm looking forward to the caves because obviously, you know, caves bring a whole new side to the game of adventure, of exploration. Obviously it's not fully fleshed out right now with all of the, you know, wildlife that could, you know, possibly be dwelling in there. Excuse me, and plants as, you know, as well as other things that you could do. But it's a start. It's definitely a start. I mean, I know it'll probably be barren when it first gets introduced. But hey, it could be, you know, use your imagination, you turn it into a PvP event, you know, or you know what I mean, role play, things like that. The other part of it, as far as the player experience, new player experience, I'm glad to see that they are listening and looking into that for those players, you know, coming into the game, because Star Citizen, like I said, you know, for me and my dad, when we got in, it is a very high learning curve. You know, it kind of, you know, especially when we got in, it just sets you right at PO, and it was just like, okay, what do I do? You know what I'm saying? You know, okay, get up, go to the door. Okay, how do I open up the door? Okay, luckily, you know, you're pressing all your buttons, hold F. Okay, okay, well, where do I spawn a ship at? You know what I mean? So it's all of those things that, you know, that definitely help players alleviate the aggravation, you know, and frustration for people. So that's my 2 cents.
All right, thank you. Jade, how about you?
Oh, wow. So first starting with the caves, like first of all, they look spectacular. I was never a huge fan of the way the caves that we currently have look. But these, like, whenever I look at a cave system, I'm looking at like things like the sedimentary layers, and you can see, they've got clear water and wind erosion going on now with these. It just makes it feel more immersive, makes it feel like these caves are more real, like they weren't just something that would be plopped down on some of these planets, especially if you got like a windy planet and there's no wind erosion. It doesn't really, like, I don't know, it kind of breaks immersion for me. Everybody's different, right? Face mentioned some like PvP missions in there. I kind of hope, that's a given, we're going to get those, but I kind of hope that CIG starts to give explorers something even this early on. I mean, like the Pico Cave is a start, but I would love for them to like hide, I don't know, maybe like a pirate's treasure in some of these caves or something that you could find. And I'm really happy that they mentioned the ice caves, and people that don't know, Yella, the moon of Crusader, the icy moon with the rings, in lore, it has underwater ice caves. And so we already have underwater stuff, and we are now going to be getting ice caves. So hopefully that means we're going to get the caves on Yella. And I couldn't think of a better place than hiding a pirate's treasure than in an underwater cave. So I'm really happy about that. The new player experience, I'm happy to see that they're giving that a lot of thought and that they're not going in the direction that they went before, but instead having like something that can update as the game updates. And it's showing people how to do things in the context of where they are at that time, like in the game. There's been so much in the last couple years in the way of new players coming to Star Citizen, and a lot of the new money, a lot of the crazy numbers they're putting up as far as backing the game. The new money is coming from new players, so it's good that they're actually doing this for them and showing them, that they matter a lot. And the other thing I loved about this whole segment was the humor in it. Like, you could tell they were really having fun with this. I'd like to see more of this on ISC because some of those shots are hilarious. So that's about all I have.
Thank you. And don't forget, if you want to join us to talk, give us your thoughts about this week's ISC, please click the link I just posted in chat, and can join the conversation. All right, Pops, how about you? What are your thoughts about this week's ISC?
Oh wow, I love caves. Caves are cool. It's just that, like they said, that vertical,
Slice?
yeah, that going down, not just up and out of space, but having it in that sense of verticality. Yeah. I'm just wondering if we're going to get like traversing down on like mountain climbing, like in the ropes, the caves. That's the only way you can get down in it, is get on a rope and go down. I'm wondering if they'll bring in something like that. But I'm looking, as far as gameplay, maybe they'll do something similar, like what was it? Raiders of the Lost Ark, where you go in and there's these switches, not really switches, but you've seen Raiders of the Lost Ark when they came in and you had to step. If you stepped on this, it activated. Yeah, the booby traps. It activated that. Things like this. Is a lot of things I think they could do in caves. That but knowing them,
I'm not looking forward to a big bowling ball chasing me. That's it. Yeah, no.
Wow, see, I would enjoy it. For me. Now, as far as the the introduction into Star Citizen, going through the training, wow, that's really big. And I know we've had a lot of conversations after the show, and I know Griff has talked about it numerous times. Where, wow, I wish it was when we came into the game, really, because we really, would have been something really helpful. But do it, and I know they'll do it well, and we'll get our hands on it, and we'll give our feedback, and it's nice, and it'll really help out new people coming into the game, and especially people that don't necessarily want to go into an org and they're kind of by themselves. They want to come in the game and kind of be a little isolated because, some people kind of like that kind of thing. They want to find out on their own. And that's really going to be a big draw to the game, that starting area training, getting in and out of your ship and turning it on, especially if you don't have sticks or anything like that. And that'll probably introduce sticks to a lot of people that don't have them, never heard of them, because I'd never heard of sticks before until I came into Star Citizen. So it was something entirely new. But yeah, I think it's fantastic. I think it's great, and they just keep bringing good things into the game.
By the way, Jade, I stop trying to get people drunk by using those keywords to from the Star Citizen drinking game. Okay.
Oh, if it is immersive, I can't help. It's the best damn space sim, right? So, of course, it's got to have high fidelity.
Okay, now you're just going to give people alcohol poisoning. Great going. All right, so yeah, but my thought was, I'm not really intricate, but I do want to say that the UK seems to agree with Jared. She's looking a lot healthier now. I do miss Jelly. I thought the old tutorial was pretty helpful. I'm looking forward to a new one or
Mhm.
replacement whenever they get one. And hopefully they'll bring back Jelly and Tessa. Not in the same thing, but you know, we can have both, right, chat? Um,
Mhm.
so yeah, I don't really have that much thought about this week's ISE because I'm mostly about ships, and Cave doesn't really do it for me. I'm hoping that the like I said about the new player experience, I hope that
Mhm.
comes into play well. So
Yeah, but
yeah.
FC, they could do an underwater cave, and that would introduce a new ship.
I don't.
Mhm.
Dude,
Not
well,
not
no, I think people would just use the
yeah.
890.
No, but you have to
Well, I'm
go
talking about a
underwater.
small
Eight ninety
under
is not going to go
yeah,
underwater, just on
yeah.
top.
Mm.
I'm
So,
talking
like,
about,
what?
small ship.
Yeah, like a submersible. Like, people talked about SeaQuest. Like, I could totally see Star Citizen making like a vehicle from like SeaQuest.
I don't know if CL would want to go down that route.
Yeah, because they're gonna be adding underwater content. So how do you
Mhm.
get to that underwater content other than swimming? You need a vehicle.
We'll see.
I'd almost guarantee it,
Almost
Fastcart.
guarantee it.
Mhm.
Okay, well,
Yep.
we'll see.
Mhm.
Oh, also, real quick, I meant to say this earlier, but I just want to say thank you, Jared, for mentioning my song yet another time. This is like now 2 times. He must really like it. But yeah, it was a lot of fun to put together. So I'm happy people enjoy it.
Congrats.
Thank you.
All right, so next week, this week for ISC, New Cage Wave. So up next we have this week, Machinima, and this one is from TideSpear. It's called Star Citizen Wingman, Xenothreat, Epic 4K gameplay cinematic. This was picked up by Griffin. It's about 4 minutes long, so let's see how it goes. And we're back. Pretty good. Before we get my thoughts, let's go to Jade and go reverse order. So, what are your thoughts, Jade?
Yeah, it was pretty good. I like some of the shots, some of the angles that they used. It seems like they're getting the hang of the cinematic camera. But yeah, I think this is pretty amazing, and the whole pacing of it seemed to fit the music, which not every cinematic you can say that about. So that's extremely important because especially if you have like such epic music like that, um, the shots they picked were perfect for it. So that's about all I have.
Cool. Fifth Face, what are your thoughts?
Very, very good. Very, very good. I enjoyed it. Good choice of music, good build up, good crescendo, all that other stuff. And did a very good job. Looking forward to seeing more.
Cool, thank you. Yeah, this is from TideSpear, by the way. Possum Face, what are your thoughts?
Yeah, what was the title of this?
Star Citizen Wingman, Xenothreat event.
Oh, okay. Because this was like, to me, it was like a trailer. It I mean, it really, it really put Star Citizen in a good light. I like the angles that they did. I'm quite sure it took them pretty good length of time. Probably a lot of practice in the way they did the formation shots like this one that's showing right now. So yeah, I mean, the music was great. The shots are great. The game looks great. Yeah, fantastic job. Uh, that shot was, yeah, it was, little things like that when it kind of zoomed in, and to the guy sitting in the back seat, I thought that was, that was really, I don't know if that was, how much they had to practice that, or was it something that just happened? But yeah, no, it was great in the fight scenes and all that. This is a great trailer for the game. Great, good work, excellent work.
One thing that gets me is that this is in
Mhm.
4K, so
Mhm.
TideSpear, the creator of this Machinima, has a great PC or a great rig or something like that to get everything this smoothly in 4K, because
Mhm.
that's very impressive. And this was from February of 2021, so this is over a year ago. So, you know, this is before they had some of the optimizations and they take place to make the game look better, higher FPS. So yeah, this is a great
Mhm.
job by TideSpear. And this is again Star Citizen Wingman, the Xenothreat event, epic 4K gameplay cinematic. So check them
Mhm.
out. I put the link in chat earlier. All right. So up next we have, I guess that's the end of the show. So yeah, I want to thank everybody for joining us. Joined by Fitchface, Jade, Possum Face, and everyone in chat, both YouTube and Twitch chat. For our next show, we have on Saturday, we have show Voices. That's at 3 p.m. Eastern, 7 p.m. UTC. And we're part of Podcast Saturday, every Saturday. We started off with Soul Voices from Soul Citizen, and then we go to the After Public for 6 p.m. Eastern, 10 p.m. UTC for Captain Tail. And then we end up with Relay for Relay Station on 9 p.m. Eastern, 1 a.m. UTC. Yeah, on Relay SC. So yeah, and it's a great way to spend your day talking about and learning about Star Citizen. For our next show, we're gonna be doing a show. Oh, the Shipyard series. Sunday, August 28th, 8 p.m. Eastern, midnight UTC. We're talking about Mist this time, so all the Mist ships, the freelancers with the Odie Bagiddy and on up to the new Mist ships, like probably talking about the Odyssey a bit. So looking forward to that. And also join us every Thursday for this show, Soul Talk. Thursday 9 p.m. Eastern, Friday 1 a.m. UTC. And we're both on Twitch and YouTube for all the shows now. So you don't no longer have to worry about doing one or the other. And Uber Nerd, thank you for the raid. We're just about to end though. Thank you, Uber Nerd. Appreciate it. Yeah, we're ending a bit early this evening, so sorry about that. But thank you for the raid, appreciate it. Welcome back as a starting streamer. Cool.
Mhm.
And also, don't forget to check out our reaction and reviews show. That's on YouTube only. If you want to support us becoming Soul Bro, Soul Sis, or Soulmate, Soul Citizen membership has this privilege. Click the link below on YouTube, or you can subscribe to us on Twitch. We appreciate all the uh, we appreciate all the donations and everything that people can give us. Also, yeah, don't forget to hit like and subscribe or follow us, because the stream and talk about algorithms and all that, and those things really help us. Don't forget you can follow us on social media. We're on Soul Citizens everywhere: Twitter, Facebook. I don't think we're on TikTok yet, but we'll talk with Griffin about that. They're almost everywhere. So yes, and I think that's it. Thank
Can I
everybody
just say
for
one
joining us.
thing?
What was
Can I
that?
just say one thing, FC?
Yep.
That's okay. Now this is for Kai, Black Sky Legion. We are going west.
Haha, okay.
He knows what it means. He knows what it means.
That's for people playing Equity Time Guessing. So
Oh, brother.
Alright, thanks everybody. And peace, love,
Okay.
and soul. Take care, everybody.
Later.
Take care.
Want to horse around, head west.
I gotta go. Take care.
Take care. West, they say. West.